Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to another vlog. Now, we've had a bit of a technical difficulty with my little DJI vlogging camera. So my normal routine of vlogging my daily life has sort of been put on hold for a bit. I can definitely do this on my phone. However, the whole point of me getting that little DJI camera is because I know that when I've got that with me, I'm vlogging. I've always got my phone with me, so there's so many moments that I should be vlogging, but it's just normal for me to have my phone, so I don't really think about it. Anyway, so I've been a little bit out of sorts with my vlogging routine because I do not currently have my camera. It's been sent off to be fixed, and I'm not gonna have it back for a few weeks. So if I can get into a good routine of vlogging on my phone, I definitely will make an effort to, but I thought this week is already a write-off. So I am actually going to take you through my editing process. This will be a very confined version because I am actually hosting a workshop for this exact subject this Friday, March 6th at 12 p.m. Brisbane Eastern Standard Time. This is actually a group coaching call. So I have a membership for creatives that want to learn from me. Once a month, we all catch up for a group coaching call and I let the members pick what the subject is going to be. And this month they have chosen editing and simplifying their workflow. Every month when we do have these coaching calls, because the subjects are always different, sometimes they're relative to just photographers, other times they're relative to any creative. I have now added in an option to just do a casual visit if you just wanted to pop in and just do the one workshop instead of joining for the whole membership. It's great for those people that want to try it, see if the group coaching thing is for them, if they enjoy being in that environment, learning with other people, to just pop in, get to know a little bit more about me, my teaching style, the people in the community. Is it for you? Is it not? Or also just pop in for that particular topic. On Friday, it'll be this, but a lot more in depth. I'm gonna go through step by step my full editing process from shooting and then uploading to my hard drive all the way through to gallery delivery and how I have simplified that process. Time that it used to take me for that process from shooting the wedding through to gallery delivery, I have halved that. I have literally cut that time in half of how long it takes me. One, because I had to, because I've taken on double the amount of weddings. But two, I've just had the help of using some AI programs that have simplified this process for me so much. And that's just what I'm going to touch over today. While also I'm gonna screen record what I'm doing on my laptop. I've got my laptop here. So instead of going through a whole wedding gallery for you, one, I'm not even gonna do that in the workshop. That would take a week. What I'm going to do today is I have got a sneak peek gallery. I'm just gonna take you through the sneak peek gallery, and then on Friday, it will be my process of editing the full gallery. So this will give you a little taste tester of what I'm going to cover on Friday, and then you can make your decision if you'd like to join us or not. First things first, I have got the itchiest knee. I don't know if you guys saw my vlog last week. I did a Q&A vlog. It was so funny when I look back to edit the vlog. I was sitting on this chair, like my legs are crossed, and I just had band-aids everywhere. Me and James had an accident on the e-bike, and I was just, I just had battle wounds all over me. And I look back at that vlog, I was like, oh my God, as if you didn't cover that with a blanket or something, Taylah. Anyway, first things first. Process, once I have shot the wedding, I back up my photos straight away. I don't care what time it is that I get home, I am uploading those photos that night. Otherwise, I will not sleep. I need reassurance that I've got all the photos backed up to my hard drive. So that's first things first. Make sure you back up your photos straight away. I'm going to now turn on my screen record and show what I'm talking about up here. This is my hard drive here. I separate all my work into different folders. So we'll jump into weddings. The wedding I did on the weekend was Maddie and Josh's. So these are the sneak peeks that I'm going to go through with you today. I feel like my process with sneak peeks is to set myself up for a simplified editing process with the full gallery. So when I select the sneak peeks, I try to pick highlights from each moment of the day. And then when I go back through and do my cull again for the photos I'm adding to the full gallery, I know the main highlights because I've picked those. I've picked the best moments from each moment of the day for their sneak peeks, and then I'm just adding to that. So this is their folder here. These are how I separate them. I've got all my cards. I've got the edits folder. I shot film at their wedding, so they get a separate folder for that. And then the selects is what I have already culled from after shoot. After shoot is down here. Let's upload that. And this is their gallery in here. So as you can see, I had 5,516 photos from their wedding. All the raws went straight into after shoot. Once you import them into after shoot, you just have to press cull at the top. These AI programs, they're amazing, but they do require you to use them repetitively for them to learn how you like your galleries to be culled and edited. After shoot has learnt my culling style, the photos that I end up picking and not picking. So I just select cull and I go into automated culling, and it knows how to cull for me. It's like personalize my culling experience. Is that not wild? AI is insane. It does the full cull. Like I said, I'm just brushing over this. As you saw, I put all those selects into this folder, and that is what I drag over into Lightroom and select my sneak peeks from there. When after shoot sort of does its thing, it still gives me a large amount of photos. So I still have to cull from there, but it's a much easier cull than 5,516 photos. So that's what I've put into Lightroom. And then we are going to jump into Lightroom now and go through some little editing tips for you. I ended up with 1,843 photos. So that's pretty good. Like, I've started off with 5,500 photos and it's culled it down to that. And it's culled it down to good quality photos. So in every single one of these photos, they're in full focus. If it's a photo of people, their eyes are open. So they're photos that it knows I am most likely to select. So that was put into Lightroom. I selected my sneak peeks from there. Down here, you'll see this is my sneak peek folder. I chose 100 sneak peeks to deliver to them. That's pretty standard for me if I've done a full wedding day. If I was to do any more than that, it's purely because there was more happening throughout the day. Everyone's wedding day is so different. With those galleries where there's those added formalities in a day, that's when I can sometimes end up with more than 100 sneak peeks. Most of the time for a standard wedding day, I deliver 100 because I know within 100 photos, I can give them a highlight from each moment of the day while they wait for their full gallery. Once I have got my 100 photos that I'm going to send them as their sneak peeks, I create a smart collection of all their sneak peeks. And then this is when we now move on to our next AI program that I use, and that is Imagen AI. Imagen, Imagine, everyone calls them different things. I say Imagen because that's what I learned from another educator. Some people use Imagen and Aftershoot for culling and editing, and you can definitely do that. I don't actually know why I like using the two different programs. I started with Imagen AI. At that stage when I started using Imagen AI, I didn't have the patience for it to learn my culling style. It was culling and then I was having to go back and find photos because it had culled out photos that I wanted. I have just found that myself, everyone's different, but I have found that after shoot adds in more photos in that final cull. I would rather it just cull out the shit. Do you know what I mean? Like duplicate photos of the same moment, like pick the best one in that moment. Personal preference, I think it just more was like I'm gonna try after shoot. I love how after shoot culls. I've kept using after shoot for culling, but you can use both programs for culling and editing. I think you should definitely try both is my recommendation. And you just see which one suits your style the best. It's also like how you find it to be more user-friendly? Is there one program you prefer to use more just because it feels more simple to you? Purely personal preference. There is no real precise reason as to why I use both. I just do. So after shoot for culling, Imogen for editing. Same thing with Imogen in terms of you do have to use it consistently for it to learn your editing style. Luckily for me, I have shot a lot of weddings and a lot of family shoots, a lot of maternity shoots. So I have a big backlog of catalogs in Lightroom that I have refined my editing style in. So I was able to inject that preset that I now use consistently into Imogen AI. And now, because I've over time added more and more and more galleries, I don't even know what we're up to now. Let's jump into Imogen here and see how many. Basically, with Imogen, the more photos that you can inject into that preset, the better. It learns how you like to edit. Do you bump up the shadows? Do you take them down? Are you adding contrast? Are you not? It learns all of that the more galleries you can inject into this program. I've got my AI profiles here, got a couple that I use, and this is my main one here. So 10,697 photos I have injected, and with Maddie and Josh's sneak peeks, I injected their sneak peeks into Imogen AI and I barely touched the edits. That is how good this program is at learning your edit. I had to make the slightest tweaks, which I'm going to go through with you soon. Another thing with editing, don't be scared to purchase other people's preset packs. I've obviously done that, as you can see in Imogen. This one here that I found that I loved, Bieber Vows. So this was originally a preset pack that I purchased. You can find her on Instagram. She sells these packages. I'll link it here somewhere. So I just purchased her preset pack because I felt like they were the most true to color, which is how I edit. But they also had a creamy look to it, and she had an option as well to add grain. So I love having both of those options. Creamy, true to color, grain. But I have put my own editing style on top of purchasing her preset pack. My edit is not her edit. I found with her preset pack, she loves her photos to be really warm, too warm or too yellow for me. So I've sort of taken all the warmness out of her preset pack. I've also made some other tweaks that were on it, but basically what I'm trying to say is do not be scared or feel like an amateur when you purchase other photographers' preset packs. Like, they are such a good base for you to learn how to edit, different editing styles, and to just have a play as well. Like, we're all creative. So good to purchase those packs to learn, to be like, oh, I love the look of their photos. How did they get that look? They sell those presets for a reason, for you to learn. I love her photos. I love her edit. I love her style, but I also have my own style. So that's why I purchased her pack and I put my own style onto that. And then that is what you can see here. So you can see that I've got the grain one that I love. I use a lot for maternity shoots and stuff like that. I don't use it for weddings really. If I was to have someone request that, then I've got that sitting there. But this is mainly for shoots, like creative shoots. And then I've got the other one there without grain. So this is my main one that I use for weddings. Moving on to backtrack and summarize, cull in after shoot, put into Lightroom, make my final sneak peek selects in Lightroom, inject into Imogen AI, and it edits it within 5 minutes. It's actually laughable. Once that is done, then I am putting those edits back into Lightroom, and this is what you can now see here on the screen record. Just to quickly scan through for you, let's make this a little bit bigger. So as you can see here, I have just selected a few highlight moments from the groom prep. I've got just a couple of the setup of the day. Normally I would have more. For this particular wedding, when I got there, a lot of the other things like their catering and their bar and all that wasn't set up yet. So normally I would add more of that in, but it wasn't ready. So that's why I've just added the signage and the ceremony space. And then I've got some moments of the bridal prep here. Again, normally I would add a couple more, but there was no first look. Addie didn't really want photos of her like getting her dress on. She just wanted to get dressed and just get some photos with the girls. But I've got a few highlights of them all having a drink, getting ready together. Then I've got their ceremony highlights. So for ceremony, I like to sort of select the key moments. So I've got the bridesmaids walking down, I've got the bride walking down, I've got the groom's reaction, I've then got them meeting each other at the aisle, I've got a wide of the ceremony, and then a few key moments throughout the ceremony, their signing, and then their kiss. There's so many amazing moments that do happen in a ceremony, but for the sneak peeks, I just like to select those highlight moments, and that's what I put in their sneak peeks. Then I've got them exiting the aisle, their big kiss down the end. That this was like a must-have moment for Maddie and Josh. They had planned out this little end of the pool kiss. So this was like, okay, we've got to nail this shot. So I actually put 2 of those in there because they really were excited for this photo. 2 of those in there. I like to add in a few little cuddles after the ceremony, some little candid shots, lots of photos of their son Bowie. So it was really important to them that they had Bowie in a lot of photos because he was not there for the whole day. To intercept here for a second and add in another tip, I send all my clients a questionnaire before their wedding day. And I've got a million questions in there, so I'm not going to go through them all. That can be maybe for another video or another workshop. But one thing I will tell you that I add in there is I say to them, if you could have one memory, one photo from your wedding day, what would it be? And Maddie and Josh said just a photo of us 2 with Bowie. So me knowing how important that moment is to them, I'm like, okay, we've got to add in pretty much all the photos that you got with Bowie into this gallery. We'll see a lot of Bowie in here. We've got a couple of the bridal party, and then, yep, Bowie. Then we've got the girls. Now I always, at the start, you would have seen that I had some individual shots with the groomsmen because I'd already done that. I then did the same thing with the girls. So I always like to make sure if they've got a bridal party, they've at least got an individual photo with each of their bridal party in their sneak peeks. Then I like to add in, if there's a lot of family photos, I don't add them all, I'll add the key ones. So like their immediate family and grandparents is normally what I put in sneak peeks. So that's what I've done here, and they didn't have a massive amount of family photos. So I've pretty much added in all the family photos that they had. Bowie again. Portraits, when it gets to portraits, this is what I add the most of. So these are the photos that like they're sharing on Instagram, they're making their profile picture. Like if there's anyone that couldn't come to their wedding, they're sending them that photo. With the portraits, I like to add at least like between 5 and 10, depending on how long we had with portraits. I had, I think like 5, maybe 10 minutes with them. We had some weather interruptions, so I'm happy with 7, considering. After that, I love to add in a few moments from their entrance, and normally it's only like 2 or 3, but for them I ended up with 4, I think, yeah, because their entrance was epic. Added in an extra one for that moment. I always add in the key moments during speeches, who spoke, and some of the bride and groom's reactions during the speeches. Then we've got them cutting the cake, we've got the first dance, and then after that is just a few more little highlights from the reception. So I just made sure there was like a fun one of each of them on the dance floor. And then there's like a big group photo that I took from the balcony. And then after that is just like a little fun photo of them with some friends. And yeah, just little creative shots that I thought they might like. They are edited, which you can probably tell by the fact that there's a few black and white ones in there. So now to sort of go through the edits, like I said, once I put this into Imogen, it pretty much edited it, a tongue twister, how I edit, which is insane. Once the edit was done, it literally took me 15 minutes to just scan through the images, make sure I was happy with the brightness, the colors, is it too warm? Do I need to warm it up a bit more? Cropping, you can crop in these AI programs. However, I do often intentionally shoot on an angle because I like how it looks. So you'll even see here this photo of Josh hugging his mum. I've shot that on an angle, but I love that angle. If I got these AI programs to do the crop for me, it's going to straighten that photo, and I don't want that. So I do all the cropping myself. I pick out just random ones that I think suit a black and white photo, and I'll add in just some random black and whites here and there. When I deliver their final gallery, they get those photos in black and white and color. They get both. But it's just to give them an idea of what their black and whites are going to look like. I'm not gonna go into how I tweak the edits. Like I said, I've got the workshop this Friday and I'm gonna go in more depth with this. Just double check that I have added in key highlight moments from each portion of the day. So they've got something to remember the whole day by while they wait for their full gallery. Once that's done, I'm exporting that from Lightroom back into that original folder. So all their sneak peeks go in a little folder here, and then that is what I upload to their online gallery, and the program I use for that is PicTime. I open PicTime so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so this is my PicTime. So we've got Maddie and Josh's folder here. And then when you go into photos and media, there is their sneak peek folder there. So I leave that there. Once I have finished their full gallery, they then get different chapters. So it'll be like groom prep, bride prep, ceremony, etc., etc., etc. once I've done the full gallery. That is my process in a nutshell, the simplified version, before I go through this in more depth on Friday. So if you would like to learn a little bit more about this process and exactly how I simplified it, then feel free to come join us. I will leave a link below so you can either join my membership if you want to come to all the calls, and we've got a private group chat that all my members have access to me 24/7 with any questions that they have. Otherwise, if you just want to pop in for a casual visit, there's that option there for you now as well. Sorry it wasn't a week in the life. I will do my very best next week to try and vlog on my phone, but it's not the same. I don't know, I just feel I'm not in vlogging mode when I've got my phone on me. And if not, maybe you'll get another educational video like this one. So just in case that is what it ends up being, if there is something that you guys would like to learn, I can film it in a little nutshell like this with a screen record. And to talk you through it, let me know in the comments what you want to learn. And if I fail to vlog again next week, then at least we've got that as a backup option. So any questions that you may have about the workshop, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, would love to see you there and see you in the next video. Love ya.